the books, can't escape from the cold of morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, a pleasant good morning to you, coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam show here for Friday, March 28th. Get ready for our second day here of Major League Baseball, of course, and tonight, Sweet 16 action. What a night last night we had, huh? With our 4 big games. We have 4 more tonight. Let's hope we get it picked up in the second pair of games there, certainly late last night with Arkansas and Texas Tech. Now, before we get started, we do want to acknowledge the humanitarian tragedy going on right now over in Southeast Asia. We know there was a huge earthquake last night, but thousands feared dead. Hopefully not tens of thousands, although it's going to be quite likely a tremendous disaster over there. We're still going to press on here a little bit with the news in the background, and just keep your prayers out for those folks less fortunate right now in those countries. Those are, a lot of well-supported areas as well, but there are definitely going to be some bad results out of that tragedy last night, but the likes of which really haven't come to light yet. But no doubt, big tragedy last night in the world here, and they're working hard to take care of that. There's some exciting good stories too of rescues going on, but certainly a bummer of a situation there. But hey, what a night last night, and college basketball and Major League Baseball. What a fun night it was with the guys over with the show. Hopefully you caught us here on the channel and over with Razor Sharp Picks. We had a fun night, man, with some exciting action in both baseball and basketball, and some hockey too. We'll talk a few games. We won't have as long of a show today with not as many games going on here, but we'll preview all these and talk about what happened last night. Let's say hello to everyone in the chat. Let's get going here for Friday. They're also underway here at the Houston Open today, but maybe the leaderboard will clear up. You still got Scotty Scheffler lurking down there at the 3 over par, but certainly last night. Also, how about overnight? We did have if you watched the show with me last night, and I stayed up here watching a little bit of action. It was pretty late last night, so had to kind of catch the end of the game, and maybe I sometimes do a wake and win situation, right? When I went to bed this morning, it wasn't looking great for the Western Bulldogs against Carleton Blues. As we mentioned yesterday on the show, I said take Western Bulldogs, and they were down early big time to the Blues, but the Western Bulldogs pulled it off in Australian football action to give us a winner on the show last night. So we did wake and win to something there, although the overseas baseball didn't treat me too great there, but that was a pretty good win to see when I woke up this morning. I was tracking some of that awful news last night, so I didn't sleep for too long this morning, especially after last night's excitement in college basketball, man. With those games, how about The Texas Tech Red Raiders, they ended up being the story of the night with that incredible performance in the second half and the big comeback and the overtime victory last night. Great job by Texas Tech. Arkansas led that game with 16 points with 11 minutes left in the game. They tied it up on a three-pointer with 9.7 seconds left. Hopefully you were watching with us, man. We were yelling and screaming and having a great time as the Red Raiders move on to they get a nice reward to play the number one seed on Florida Saturday. So Duke over Arizona. Arizona got the money. Duke, so, will advance. Good job by the Blue Devils and good job by the Arizona Wildcats. Come back and get that victory last night, 100-93. How about all four games going over last night? Is that a sign of things to come today? Was that a one-off last night with these better teams here in the Sweet 16? It was Florida rocking Maryland by 16 points in their game to advance. They've won 9 in a row, 15 of their last 16. Duke's 30-1 since Thanksgiving. Alabama over BYU, and it wasn't a thriller or anything, but certainly a game to note with Alabama scoring 113 points last night and beating BYU 113-88. They shot 25 of 50 from three-point range for an NCAA record three-point barrage, if you will. 62 points in the second half, and Alabama's averaging 94 points in their tournament wins there. So exciting day, and we got 4 more games to talk about here today. How about Major League Baseball yesterday? What was the featured a game there? For me, it was Kyle Stowers with his walk-off single there in the bottom of the 9th inning for the Marlins over the Pirates. Stowers with the game winner for the Marlins last night. I thought it was a home run when I watched it, but that's because I just got old eyes and I didn't realize it was just a shot down the line. But my man Kyle Stowers, whose dad sold me my mortgage when before I sold my house at 4x money to move to Las Vegas. But I just want to note that I was a big fan of Kyle Stowers. I covered him as a young man at Christian High School in San Diego, El Cajon, California, and he had the game winner last night. That was my kind of featured attraction in the major leagues, but certainly some other big news there yesterday. Abreu, a couple of home runs there last night. Also, you had the Oakland Athletics player there with a couple of home runs last night as well. Phillies over the Nationals, 7-3. Mackenzie Gore, 13 strikeouts. Harper, the home run. Tyler O'Neill for the Orioles with his 6th consecutive year, a home run on opening day, 12-2. Orioles get the win. My Padres got a win, 7-4 over the Braves with those 3 runs in the 7th inning. Jackson Merrill had 4 RBI, and look out, Padres, nice pickup with Gavin Sheets, a former White Sox player. He hit a home run in his first plate appearance, first Padre in 10 years, hit home run with his first plate appearance being a pinch hit appearance. Astros over the Mets. Framber Valdez, 7 shutout innings in a day when the overs were prevalent. Valdez was one of the pitching stars yesterday. But wow, you like runs in your Major League Baseball, and could this be a sign to come? I said last night that look, when you have as many overs as you had there yesterday in the 14 games, 10 games, I believe, went over the total, and you had all, basically the number one pitchers out there. Are we looking at offense here this weekend? Will the offenses be ahead? They certainly were on opening day with the aces out there. So will it continue, or was that just the offense coming through? Remember, you're dealing with the number one starters out there. Yes, the number one lineups as well, but those lineups will be out there all weekend long pretty much. And are the hitters ahead of the batters in Major League Baseball to start the season? Yankees over the Brewers 4-2. Freddie Peralta gave up a couple of home runs there. And The Yankees are 1-0. Guardians over the Royals, 7-4 in 10 innings. We said Tanner Bybee was scratched. Quote unquote good news. Bybee just had food poisoning. So good job there that he'll be okay. Uh, you know, Tanner Bybee, look, I love Chipotle. You love Chipotle. Tanner Bybee loves Chipotle. Tanner Bybee really loves Chipotle. Let's hope that it wasn't the Chipotle because we know that Tanner Bybee starts every day that he pitches with Chipotle. So we don't want that because we all love Chipotle. So Wilmer, home run. Giants beat the Reds 6-4. Candelario, 3 runs knocked in for the Reds, but the Giants got the win with Wilmer hitting that big home run. How about um, talked about Weiler Abreu, this man for the Red Sox looks like the real deal. He had the 2 home runs there, and Boston's bullpen looked good in the win over the Rangers. Dodgers win it late last night. Ohtani, another home run. We saw it right here on the Sports Money Kick channel. If you're not joining us on Kick for that sportsbook experience on Thursday nights, what are you doing? Yeah, we got a good show here on YouTube. If you can't make it over there, but you got to come over to Kick, man, on Thursday nights when we run the games above our head. Jim Casey in the chat. Hello, shout out the Bulls, right? I was on the call when Josh Giddey hit the half-court shot. Did anybody hear me yelling and screaming when Giddey threw in the half-quarter? I was on the play-by-play there with the guys on the show, and what a moment for Giddey, who already is a huge star in the NBA, and he put an exclamation point on that one with an incredible finish. The Lakers also with that moment where they took the lead. The Lakers are the first team in 35 years to win a game on a last second shot on one night and then lose a game on a last second shot on another night. The last team to do it, the 1989 Chicago Bulls, and they had Michael Jordan, and this team's got LeBron James. Kind of interesting that 35 years since that's happened, but the Lakers were on the short end of it last night against the Bulls. Let's say hello to everyone in the chat and get the show started. Oh, don't want to forget about Sean Burke, huh? We talked about Wood Burke pick up where he left off last season. Or would he look like he did in spring training? Well, 6 shutout innings for the White Sox as Burke is the man. Benintendi, a 3-run home run in that one. Let's go to the chat and say hello to everyone here. There's what I'm talking about. Jim was first. He couldn't wait, couldn't he? And if you want to see that one with me yelling it, you can go back and look at it here on the show. So that was incredible. Good morning to Blue. Redbird is here as well. Robert McCormick is here. Thank you for coming. Here's my right-hand man, my Ed McMahon, is Thomas Lewis. He tracks the consensus. Make sure we get our consensus parlay off. We didn't hit it last night because of the Milwaukee Brewers. First out the gate there pretty much to give us a loss there. Ron Young, hello. Good morning to Bobby Mack. Luis is here. How you doing, Luis? Nice to see you today in the chat as well. And Steve Elverton is here. I better get Steve's name right here. He's been doing us a solid here so far. Steve Elefterin. I'm gonna go with that. Elefterin. Steve Elefterin here. Thank you for joining us again. Nice to have you. And Jim, yeah, we'll get underway tonight with Tampa Bay playing their first game. It's a little bit unfortunate, let's be a little bit honest with ourselves that stadium damage came as a result of a natural tragedy there. So we're not going to hold it too much against Tampa Bay to have to play in the makeshift stadium this season. Makeshift major league stadium, I should say. It's a regular minor league facility, but certainly that happened because of that hurricane damage. So Kiadra, good morning and thank you as we get started here. Joe W, hello, and Jim, thank you for being here this morning. And Let's see here. Remember, Jim? I think that's why for me, Jim. That's why I'm such a big fan of footy and Friday night footy last night, and because ESPN showed that sport very early on as one of their featured attractions. So yeah, I'm into the footy for sure. I like it almost better than the NRL, probably do, but we do have our NRL previews up with the guys with Dan and Smythe for this week. So you want to check those out over the Sports Money Network. Philly Eagle Flyer, good morning and hello as well. Fernando, thank you for joining us today. We're kind of back on track here, at least this weekend, with some international soccer coverage here, including today. We've got action here today from the Bundesliga, from League One in France, as well as kind of our featured coverage today, and action from Mexico tonight as well, and MLS card this weekend. So a little bit of soccer action here this weekend. Our Toms, good morning as well. And I think they weren't booing Harper there. He quieted that crowd again, as he always does. So, all right. And Joe Alvarado, hello. Hey everyone, if you want to get more plays from me today, you can go over to winnable.com/Ramon and pick up more action from me. This is how you support me here on the Sports Money Network, by subscribing to my extra content, my extra picks over at winnable.com/Ramon. We had some winners yesterday with some premium picks in the on the card on Thursday, including some in Major League Baseball, NBA, and NHL. Really did a nice job here on the show, I thought, with those sports. But you can pick up more plays over with me at winnable.com. We did have some premium pick winners over there yesterday in the NHL, in the NBA, and NHL. And we can cover those in just a moment, but you can get my plays over today at winnable.com. Click the QR code in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. That'll take you to my Winnable page. And when you're over there, you can subscribe for just 56 cents a day by subscribing to the 1-month package over there, and I'll get you get you more plays today in the various sports. We're dealing with a night card mostly today, so pick up those plays at winnable.com. You don't have to play them all. You can play them all. You can match them up against your plays as well. It's just a nice little extra service, and you support me here on the channel on the Sports Money Network. All right, we did have some other winners there yesterday. That's what it looks like when you go over to winnable.com and they subscribe there by clicking the option to subscribe over there. And when it comes up, you can choose that weekly package and use Apple Pay, Google Pay there, and it comes right up. It's all powered by Stripe, so it's a totally legitimate payment processing platform. They do charge, I believe, 3% to do the transactions, but hopefully it's just part of the process of you wanting to support me coming back here every day and doing a little show. So appreciate that you listening to that. We did have some winners yesterday here for sure on the show. Hopefully everyone liked the NBA picks. We went 6-2 with our NBA picks here on the show, including the Indiana Pacers, 162-something. They beat the Washington Wizards last night. I'm sorry that I called the Wizards some sad sack organization, but they went out and proved it last night. We did have that premium pick winner with the over as well in the Indiana-Washington game. We also had the Spurs here on the show yesterday. We had the Miami Heat to win again, their third in a row. We had Oklahoma City to rock over Memphis. It wasn't easy, but they covered the spread big time, actually, in the end there, even though it was close all the way. The Thunder covered again. And, hey, we had the Chicago Bulls here on the show yesterday against the Lakers. Said the Lakers might be a little fatigued by the end of that game because of what they went through the night before. And that seemed to be what happened with that incredible last couple of minute comeback there, and of course the shot by Giddy there at the end of the game. We had Utah over Houston, and the plug your nose special there as they got the cover there as well. NHL also a good night. I went 7-3 with my picks here on the show yesterday, so that's 15-5 in pro basketball and pro hockey. We did have some premium pick winners as well. Yesterday in hockey, we had the Tampa Bay Lightning on the puck line. Free winners here on the show included Philadelphia over Montreal. We also had the over in the game between Ottawa and Detroit. We had the Buffalo Sabres yesterday over Pittsburgh. They crushed them there yesterday. We also had the over in the game between Washington and Minnesota. We had the St. Louis Blues over Nashville as the Blues came back and won again over Nashville. It wasn't easy in a 3-2 victory there. We had Colorado late last night over the Kings, and we had the Kraken in that shutout win over the Kings last night. And we did come through and mention those scores. We did have some winners in the major leagues. We had the under with Milwaukee and New York here on the show. We had premium pick winner with the Phillies and the Washington Nationals to go over. Man, 10 overs we talked about yesterday. I had some unders and actually got one right with Boston and Texas game did stay under, so we did have one under right. We also had the Miami Marlins in that walk-off victory on the run line there. You guys took Team Steam consensus. I took Miami on the puck line. It was too late, but I was on it over the consensus. That was another consensus L yesterday. Also, we had the winner, San Francisco and Cincinnati game to go over. Cleveland and Kansas City game to go over yesterday. Like I said, what I said about the listed pitchers there, remember. And also, Houston, a winner here on the show over the Mets. We have the under in that one as well. Also, double winner with premium pick St. Louis over Minnesota. We had the winner on the show with the over Minnesota and St. Louis. And late last night, we did have the Dodgers. We went on the money line, so we got it done there yesterday. All right, and also yesterday, 2-2 with the picks in the Final Four here on the show. We did have over with BYU and Alabama. Of course we did. And we had Arkansas and the over in the late game last night. All right. And I'll say hello to a few more folks and then get started with our show here today. Who else is here with us? It is Old E here as well. Good morning to Old E. Dimitri, hello there. Nice to have you. He had that over, he said, in that game. And Nate Cerna, nice to see you here today as well. All right. All right, I think we get started with our previews here today and see where we want to go with our modest card here. 7 games in the NBA, 6 on the ice, 9 games in Major League Baseball. But we're going to start with the Sweet 16 here. And I got a little greedy, got a little cocky there saying I was going to win that top prize in the contest across the street. But shout out right now, it's going to be a battle here actually between myself and my closest competitor, L. Kressler over there. L. Kressler, it looks like the contest may come down to today's game between Mississippi and Michigan State. Could end up being a tie between us two competitors, and maybe a chop in the end if Michigan State is able to beat Mississippi. L. Kressler has both of those teams out of his remaining teams left, out of his 6 teams left. I do have Auburn, and that he does not, but he has Michigan State. However, he has both Michigan State and Mississippi, so he's going to lose one of his teams. I think that will end up creating a tie in the end. I didn't look at it that closely yet. I maybe will later, but just want to acknowledge I got a little cocky there as usual, counting my chickens, but may end up as a tie. We won't stop here today. Hello. Nate's ready to go with the games. Let's go with the games and start it off with the first one on the board between the Mississippi Ole Miss Rebels here. Let me make sure I got the line correct here a little bit. I think there's been a change. Let me see if before I pop it up on screen. Let me give out a couple steam plays actually before we get into it. There's been some steam rolling in here first couple of minutes of the show. And right now, just moments ago, it was Phoenix and Minnesota NBA game here, taking some steam to the under this morning in the game between Phoenix and Minnesota. It was 227, but the steam's rolled in here right now, and we're seeing this total going under here right now with Phoenix and Minnesota down to 225 at most shops here right now. Moved to the under with Phoenix and Minnesota. Also, moments ago, there was some more steam. This one came in the major leagues here with the Athletics, is what we call them here in Las Vegas. You can too. The steam came in on the Athletics this morning in that game against Seattle. The A's looked good early, but the pitching gave up late, and the Mariners got that win last night. And the A's took the steam. It was Seattle minus $1.45 or so, but right now Seattle is going to be and down to $1.35 or so right now. With the steam came in on Oakland just moments ago here as we were coming on the air with the morning steam show, and we'll talk about the other steam that's rolled in here overnight on some of these games in Major League Baseball. Let's get to the colleges right now. And there's Sparty in the chat. Thank you. And Blue says, Ramon, you can't be. Well, at least I'll maybe end up, instead of winning 600, 450 out of that. We'll see there. Redbeard, Wanton State. Let's go. Let's put the lines up there and talk about the game to get started here tonight. Although I do want to acknowledge real quick the golf scoreboard. And, in tennis, my girl, Alex Iala, she did cover the game spread last night, but she did lose there to Jessie Pegula. But what a performance there by Iala to have her breakout tournament. We got men's semifinals today in Miami with Novak Djokovic, $4 favorite or so against Grigor Dimitrov. Maybe a little bit of move here on Dimitrov of early on. And also my man Taylor Fritz from Del Mar, California, $3 favorite over Jakub Mensik today. And tomorrow on the ladies' side, we have that final, Sabalenka and Pegula. Real nice final in Miami this week. All right, here we go with Sparty, 3.5-point favorite. The total is actually about 144.5 here. Let's move that line. As a total goes up, will they all go up here after what happened yesterday? This one's definitely had a little bit of a move here in this one with Mississippi and Michigan State in this one today. So let's see what you guys think of this one here with these two teams. I think I'm kind of hinting there on the total. What's going on with those totals yesterday for Michigan State coming in? They are 29-6, 17-3. Of course, the champions of the Big Ten. They've won 10 of their last 11. Sparty went 11-2 in their non-league games so far this season. The Spartans are number 12 defensive team in the country and a top 10 team on the offensive glass. For Ole Miss coming in, they're 5-2 in their last 7 games overall straight up. They went just 10-8 in the SEC. So maybe I don't want to say they're, like I said, there's no Cinderellas. In fact, if anything, right now, you'd kind of think that Texas Tech is kind of the team that if there's the country gets behind some type of team, and well, Texas Tech with their comeback and the way Calipari kind of blew it there, they might be the team there a little bit. But with Ole Miss here and Coach Beard back in the Sweet 16, he's 2-0 in his Sweet 16 games. This is the first time the Rebels have made the Sweet 16 in 24 years. Coming into this one, let's see what you have here today when Ole Miss takes on Michigan State in NCAA Sweet 16 action tonight from Atlanta. Go to the chat here a little bit and see what you have today. And we saw good morning to James Parham here as well. Kiadra says, how about Ole Miss first half, Michigan State full game today? What a game that would be. Here's Thomas on Michigan State. Blue likes the over here. Robert likes Michigan State
Final
here in this one. Look, I'm on Ole Miss in those contests, so I guess I'm a little bit on an underdog here, right? I have to be on an underdog in this one, it feels like, with Ole Miss a little bit. I mean, I have them in that contest across the street in my confidence pool here. It feels like I have to kind of stay with Mississippi here just on a principle alone. I mean, look, they're having a great time. They're getting the points here, but NYC bar here is on Michigan State money line. So I might have to go against Jim Duweiger here just because it feels like, yeah, look, I acknowledge right now Michigan State is a team that a lot of, people are going to take, okay, the consensus is in. So let me just acknowledge, I'll back down here a little bit. Just to be clear, I have Mississippi State basically straight up because of that other contest there, or a little bit I have end up on Mississippi. So I'll let consensus play here come in with this one. I'm not going to try to beat you guys. I'm not going to try to beat the consensus here. Look, I'm going to try the under here despite what happened yesterday in this game here. There's been a lot of momentum for this under from the Sharps here over the last 24 hours or so, it feels like, despite what happened yesterday. So one more time, I'm going to go to the well here and try an under. It might be the only one I'll try today, it feels like, actually. Give me the under here with this one, at least, with Michigan State and Ole Miss today. Feels a little bit tough after what we saw yesterday, but I'll try the under with these two. But like I said, it might be the only one I'm trying here today a little bit. Ole Miss is just 5-12 against the spread in their last 17 games. Ole Miss has gone over in 6 of their last 8 overall. The Rebels have gone over in 8 of their last 9 games against Big Ten competition. Michigan State comes in 10-1 against the spread in their last 11 games overall. Sparty's gone under in 10 of their last 12 games here. They've also won 10 of their last 11, don't forget. Michigan State has gone 10-3 straight up in their last 13 games against the Southeastern Conference. So, all right, give me the under here in this one. Hello to OCAPS this morning as well. Thank you for being here today. Okay, that might be it for that one. Today, let's go to the other early game here with, talk about the SEC, and I've got Kentucky taking on Tennessee here in this one, with Tennessee favored here by 4 over Kentucky. Now, again, to be clear, I've got Tennessee in my big contest entry over there. The confidence pool is there, what I'm kind of focused on. I don't think my bracket is quite holding up anymore. And in our sports money contest, got to acknowledge the leaders like Tom Moore, Troy Sanders, Kong's Clips right there in second place. Algus has been doing a nice job in third. You got Bobby Mack in fourth, Brent in fifth, Brent Matthews. You got Garrett Mark Swilt in sixth place. Ice Viking is in there as well, William Cox, and I've kind of fallen off. So I'm more focused on that confidence pool because that's where I'm winning anyway. I've fallen well off in that percentile contest. I won't catch you guys with those top brackets in our contest. So see what you guys want to do here with UK and Tennessee. Kentucky's won 5 of their last 6 games coming in. They're 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 games. Here we're meeting for the 3rd time this season between Kentucky and Tennessee, of course, of these conference foes. You got Kentucky's won and covered 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams. The teams have met, like I said, twice already. Kentucky's won and covered them both. Actually, this season they won and covered at home by 11 as a 3.5-point dog to Tennessee, and then they won at Tennessee by 5 points as a 10.5-point dog. So Kentucky's had the best of the balls, no doubt about it. Tennessee's just 4-8 against the spread in their last 12 games. Overall, Tennessee's gone over in 5 of their last 7 coming into this one. And 6 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams have gone under between Kentucky and Tennessee. Today, this one being played in Indianapolis. So what do you have here tonight with Kentucky and Tennessee? We'll go to the chat and see what you have in this one. Okay, here we go with Thomas Lewis is on Kentucky here in this one today. NYC Bar on Kentucky. Kiadra going with an under here. No fear, says Kiadra. Still can go under despite what happened yesterday. Redbeard likes the +4 in this one. Abel hit it with Otani yesterday. He was paying off at 11-1 with that home run. We were live on the air when that home run went deep. Jim Duweiger likes the balls to take care of it here in this one. Yeah, it looks like that might be it from you guys in the chat, in the matchup between Tennessee and Kentucky. And look, if I'm on them here, I think I got to roll a little bit with the balls. I love what Kentucky's doing in this one. I think it is going to be a close game. I'm going to go ahead and lay it, though, here just to be a good sport about it. I know we're in a big, NCAA March Madness. Probably should have more confidence in this game. I do have confidence in my selection on the total, which is my high roller pick over there at Tony's Picks today. So if you want to get those high roller plays, you know where to go and catch me there at with my appearances every day at 5 p.m. Eastern and 2 Pacific on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I'll go with my high roller package over there now every day. But for my play here on the show, I will roll with the Tennessee Volunteers to get this money and cover the spread here tonight. Look, I mean, to be honest, we want to be the most confident in these big games, but the big games are always going to be the toughest to get on a little bit. So I'm on the total there over at Tony'sPicks.com. But right now, for this game, I'm going to take the Tennessee Volunteers and lay the 4. I do see right now also 4.5s pretty much everywhere. Let me update that line, and I have to lay the hook here with Tennessee here tonight. They are the overwhelming choice there a little bit with those picks from my opponents as well. So anything else from the chat with you guys on this one? And Blue says maybe it'll go overtime here. He's just going to go over on every game at this point.
Steam play.
All right. All right, let's move on here as well. What I also mentioned, there will be, and we'll have some picks here in women's basketball shortly. They'll be starting off here in the morning in the Sweet 16 today with an all-ACC matchup, and we'll have some picks on the ladies' side at the end of the show. Don't let me forget. Let's see here. The NYC Bar says Kentucky beat Tennessee twice this season, and Dimitri also liking Tennessee here. So can they overcome those 2 other games there? No doubt that was won by the Wildcats. All right, let's go to the evening action now with another big-time matchup here with Michigan taking on Auburn here in this one, and Auburn, big favorite here with the Auburn Tigers favored by 9 here in this one over Michigan. Now, look, I've got Auburn. I've got them to win the national championship in a futures play, even though I'm not going to make a whole lot of money. If Duke wins, I'm going to lose all my $400 of futures bets here, no doubt. Not that I didn't think that Duke, I mean, I was on them to win this national championship in all my brackets and everything, but I never thought the Duke Blue Devils offered a good enough price, so I never had the confidence to put anything on them at the prices given. So I don't have any futures on the Blue Devils, but we do got some Auburn action here. But look, I mean, I think it's fair. Now, yeah, I went with Tennessee, lay those points, sportingly, if you will, because I have them. But here with it 9, look, I'm not so sure that Auburn right now, the way they're playing, can clear that kind of spread. But I'll probably move to the total in this game. We'll see what you guys have in this one. But Michigan, if you had to pick one of these 16 teams, I think, or I say 16 now, obviously it's 10 here at this point. But my point being, if you had to look at the Sweet 16 entering, I think Michigan is a team that has been the fastest riser here. I want to mention that golf leaderboard, Scotty Scheffler has moved to the top of the leaderboard right now with so far today, a pretty hot round, a couple under par. It is a 7-way tie atop at 5 under par. Jeff's pick, Minwoo Lee, right there, 4 under. He's very live, but we said that Scotty Scheffler just stalking at 3 under. Man, he might lap this field if this keeps up here the way he's going at this point. I mean, he's already moved to a considerable favorite in that golf tournament right now, despite some other nice names up here, including Hot Keith Mitchell, Victor Perez, Taylor Pendrith, and Ryan Gerard. But Scotty's moved now here already to just plus 165. Minwoo Lee 12-1, Pendrith 14-1, even Rory 18-1. Scotty Scheffler already a huge favorite now in that golf tournament. Okay, so let's keep going though right now here with the Michigan Wolverines and Auburn Tigers. Auburn's not covering spreads. I think that's apparent here coming in. They've had a little bit of a struggle, no doubt, after winning that SEC, but still Auburn went 14-1 in non-conference games this season. They were 20-5 against top 50 opponents, or a top 15 defense. Still, Auburn did win both of their games against Big Ten competition, winning those games by 38 and 18 points here this season. You know, the last 3 years when the number 2 seed, it's actually happened a couple of times, quite a bit. Strangely enough, in the last 3 years, the number 1 seeds in these Sweet 16 games have struggled. No doubt about it. Just 2-7 against the spread are number 1 seeds in the Sweet 16 over the last 3 years. It's been a bugaboo covering the number 4 number 1 seeds. For Michigan here, they went 10-3 in non-conference games and 13-4 in their last 17 overall. Straight up. Michigan, one thing their turnover issues here, I don't know if we can fault them too much, but they did go 1-2 against the SEC this year, losing by just 1 and 2 points in those 2 games against SEC competition. Let's go to the chat, see what you have here today when Ole Miss takes on Michigan today. Michigan has covered in 5 straight games overall. Let's get your picks in the chat and see what you have here with Auburn and Michigan tonight. Here we go. I'm ready now. I see the plays coming in. Kiadra here says take Michigan plus the points, and YC Bar is on Michigan. Abel's on Michigan. Thomas has seen enough. He says it's a consensus play. Everyone's going to be on Michigan. No one's going to take the Auburn Tigers. Here's our Tom's on Michigan. NYC bar lean to the over. Blues on Michigan. Jim, though, did take the Auburn Tigers. Good morning to AOD here this morning, and Daddy Beats as well. Hello and good morning to Daddy Beats. Daddy Beats likes Michigan, and that might be it, but that's a lot of support right there for sure for the Michigan Wolverines. And, well, you know where I'm going. I got to go over after what we saw yesterday. Give me the over here with Michigan and Auburn. Big number here, no doubt. It's gone up a few points from the openers, as low as 151, I think, right now. And we're dealing with a 154 for the most part, but I'm going to go over with Michigan and Auburn here tonight. Auburn is 17-13 to the over as a favorite. Michigan 5-3 to the over as a dog. And I will try the over here in this one. Auburn's also gone over in 11 of their last 16 games coming into this one. Auburn, mentioned some of those records against the Big Ten. They've won actually 6 straight against the Big Ten. Meanwhile, Michigan just 1-5 straight up against the SEC over the last few seasons overall. So, all right, I think that's it from you guys here in that one between Auburn and Michigan here tonight. Right, and next up, let's get the matchup here between Purdue and Houston. Well, I know they all went over last night, but will this one go over here tonight when Purdue takes on Houston? You got Houston's up to an 8.5-point favorite. The total may be dropping here a little bit to 131.5 here with Purdue and Houston. I'll update the line there a little bit as we have the late matchup here. With these two teams, you have Purdue. They've won 5 of their last 7 coming in. They went 10-3 in non-conference games. They did, of course, lose their tournament finale and then beat High Point and McNeese. Got the cover against both of them. Houston, meanwhile, with their wins over Edwardsville and Gonzaga, they didn't cover against the Zags, but just by a 0.5 point there. Of course, they did finish the season against 2 tournament teams, obviously, in that Big 12 tournament. They beat and won and covered against both BYU and Arizona, both other Sweet 16 teams. So that's pretty interesting, right? For Houston here, 15-game winning streak coming in. The Cougars went 9-3 against top 50s this season, but they were in that role as the number 1 seed. Where the number 1 seeds, like I said, just 2-7 against the spread in the Sweet 16. We saw what happened, of course, to Duke last night. They didn't get the money either against the Wildcats. So what do you have here tonight when Houston's going to take on upstart Purdue, could we call them? Look, they had, wasn't the hardest of games, I won't say, with High Point and McNeese. McNeese turned out to be a pretty fun team, but, they didn't play any major conference competition either coming in. Meanwhile, Houston against Gonzaga, even though Gonzaga's a mid-major, you don't think of them as such, right? All right. Houston did go just 1-3 against the spread when they failed to cover the previous game here this season. Of course, they were pretty okay or just mediocre against the spread. Both teams are kind of 50-50 against the spread this season. Purdue was just 3-5, actually, ATS as an underdog. So what do you have here in this one with these two teams? Purdue's gone over in 8 straight games against Big 12 competition. And Houston, however, has gone under in 5 of their last 7 games overall. Let's go to the chat here in the game of the finale between Purdue and Houston here. Here's Thomas is on Houston to roll. Daddy Beats is on Houston here. Blue is on the Houston team total. And, Lex, I didn't hear that, but that's obvious here there tonight. Right now, like I said, there's no doubt I just mentioned, I'm a news aficionado, but we've obviously got just a huge story here. Unfortunately, with that tragedy right now in uh, uh, Thailand, Myanmar, and even China there a little bit. So this card canceled, obviously, as our hearts go out to those folks there, and hopefully we've seen some incredible rescues there so far too, as well. That uh, that tall building, that 30-story building that was under construction and collapsed. We've actually seen people come out of the wreck. Yeah, there are going to be some losses there. But all right, NYC bar here with the consensus play on Houston. And let's see, Dimitri says not making sense. You got Tennessee lean 4.5, Ole Miss, Auburn 9.5, not give further points with Michigan. I don't know what that means, but I think it means take uh, Purdue. I don't know what it means. Kiadra says Houston first half, and Thomas says, Houston's a consensus play. All right, you guys. Well, oh man, I gotta toe the line here, and I gotta stand pat. I'm gonna go against Team Steam consensus. I only do it because I've got a premium on the high roller premium on the total over there at Tony's Picks. So, I'm gonna I'm going with Purdue. I look, these number one seeds, they don't seem to be able to hang on here right now. And Houston is not showing a good penchant for covering spreads here, it feels like right now. Now, they did cover against Edwardsville. Yes, they covered against Arizona. Yes, they covered against BYU. They didn't cover against Gonzaga. And these number one seeds appear to be a little bit overrated. So, guess I'm going against Team Steam consensus here in this one. And Paul Bowman said, look, 2 dogs, 2 favorites tonight. Give him Purdue and Kentucky. So I'm on with Paul tonight. I can't believe it. R. Thompson is on Purdue here. And all right, I think that might do it in that one. Look, I think Houston's a pretty great team, but there's no doubt there had some ups and downs there a little bit down the stretch, it felt like, as far as covering numbers. We know they're on a pretty big roll, winning games, and maybe Purdue. I don't think they're the weakest team, left in the field. At least according to the metric sites, they weren't necessarily heading into last night, although we saw Arkansas kind of, blow that game there. Texas Tech was, of course, the favorite in that game. So it was still Arkansas, of course, that got the money there last night. So, all right. That's it from you guys in the Sweet 16. Enjoy those games tonight. They're going right up against the baseball. Everybody said, the baseball last night, and it's going up against the. But remember, all the games were kind of day games for the most part. Yeah, we had some late 3 or 4 games there on the card, but we're going to go to the major leagues here now in just a moment. So here we go. Let's go to the major leagues here and get started with our coverage of today. Remember, just a little bit shorter card. Some of the cities kind of protect those opening night tickets is what happens when you get to the weekend action. They play a game, take a day off, and then come back on Saturday. That's in case if the first game is rained out, they can come back on Friday. Look, Major League Baseball has a big problem on their hands. I don't even know why they do that anymore because, it's 162 games. Yeah, people pay, or try to get those tickets to go to opening day. But look at what happened yesterday. It was a huge story there as the baseball season got underway that the Major League Baseball app was having some big time technical problems, basically shutting out the entire country with a overload is what it probably came down to. I don't know if we have the reasoning for sure, but people who were using the MLB app for their subscriptions. Now, I was watching on Amazon Prime, and I never got the interruptions. So I know not everyone had it on Amazon Prime, but some people have that package, and it's kind of like tied together. And I think they were having problems with the MLB app itself on the Fire Sticks. And phones or wherever you watch them, but the Amazon Prime did work just fine, and I didn't miss any of the games. But it was a pretty big story there when it was getting rolling that the MLB app was having problems, and people were having problems watching the baseball games when they started. So that was a big news kind of story with the opening of the Major League Baseball season. I think Jermaine talking about it right here, it's kind of reminded me of that. All right. And let's go with the major leagues today and get started. And we do have to talk about this one of the Rockies and the Rays here. They get the season started this afternoon, playing this one, in the minor league stadium there in Tampa. They're going to play their season here for sure. I don't think they're going to be able to. I think it's already a done deal. I didn't look totally, but this one is being played at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa this season, as Tampa's stadium was ruined by the hurricane during the off season, tore the roof apart. So a little bit of a factor here for the stadium here. So a little bit of a something to consider here, but maybe, just maybe, that these maybe they'll get some type of home field. I don't know. Still, it's going to be awkward. There might even be some issues here especially during the spring, with with the weather. Not necessarily today here, but this stadium is kind of built like Yankee Stadium. It has a short porch in right field, just 314 feet away from home plate. So this one kind of plays like a little bit of an offensive ballpark for sure. I know one thing won't happen. The ball won't get up there in the ozone or whatever it was called back in the Rays stadium, and the ball won't bounce around off things anyway, but they might experience more delays during the season, especially during the spring and summer months, all the months maybe, with the weather. But all right, let's get into this one, however, with Colorado and Tampa Bay here today, and see what you have in this one. And I'll look at some of at least for the first day here, take a look at these lineups a little bit for this game that is at 4:10 Eastern and 1:10 Pacific. Tampa Bay, that lineup isn't great for sure, but against Kyle Freeland, it might be okay, I would think, actually, going up against the left-hander here. The widely reported steam did come in on the over. I want to say this one actually has touched 8 at some spots right now, shaded to the under. It's either 7.5 over 20 or 8 under 15, 8 under 20 here, with a little bit of a move for sure to the over. You look, the Rays, they still have Andy Diaz and Brandon Lowe in the lineup as well, and Caminero, Josh Lowe as well in this lineup. The Rockies, they've got work to do for sure with this lineup, it feels like, with Brenton Doyle, of course, and Ezekiel Tovar at the top of the lineup, probably. Ryan McMahon, Chris Bryant. Looks good to have Chris Bryant. Let's hope he can, he had some moments certainly in the spring, so we'll see if Chris Bryant can resurrect his career here. But you got some question marks with this lineup. In fact, the Rockies just signed Mickey Moniak, the former number 1 draft choice, who was cut recently. Of course, they took Moniak, and the Phillies took Moniak, of course, in the first round, and then ended up with the Angels, and he got his termination pay there, so he was able to land a 1-year deal, and he probably get in the starting lineup, it feels like, today here with the Rockies. So they got Moniak just a couple of days ago. See if he can, extend his career there, but kind of a surprise there a little bit. All right, let's go to the chat and see what you have here with Colorado and Tampa Bay in their season opener between these two. And we've got And Jermaine says, I'll still take the Rockies at this price. Tampa's not a $2 favorite. Come on, he says here in this one. Purdue first half. I might have missed that one there with blue. Thomas likes the over here, especially after what happened yesterday, right, Thomas, with all those scores here. And like I said, this is going to play, to me, it feels like an offensive ballpark. I just wonder, though, if Pepio and the staff, Pepio's not an overwhelming pitcher, certainly, but you wonder if this staff a little bit can handle this Rockies lineup. The widely reported steam did come in on the over here in this one. Jermaine might be okay with $1.95. Blue says raise team total over. A little bit of a prop here coming in as well. And that's going to do it here, it looks like, from you guys a little bit in the chat. Not too much excitement in this game from you folks. So it's okay. We've got some better games in Major League Baseball. Rockies team total over here, possibly, with this ballpark here. Rockies just 1-8 last 9 games on the road against Tampa Bay over the last 3 seasons. So it's been a dominant series for Tampa Bay against Colorado. And I think that's going to do it from
final.
You guys in the chat here in this one. All right, for me, I'll go ahead and I'm going to take Tampa Bay on the run line today. I'm actually going to lay a 1.5 here with Tampa Bay over Colorado. And that run line price isn't too bad necessarily coming in. It's a minus $1.05, probably at a pick'em price or so. Give me Tampa Bay on the run line. Next up are the Orioles taking on the Blue Jays here in Game 2 of their opening series. This is the Apple TV Friday night package. Here has got the Blue Jays favored $1.25, 8.5 over at minus $1.15 or so here in this one. Baltimore on the road. Morton against Gausman. Both these pitchers have had modest success for sure against these respective teams. For Gausman, allows just 248 average against the expected lineup here today. The Orioles as well with Morton, good numbers as well for the veteran in his career against the Toronto Blue Jays. So what are you going to do here in this one with Baltimore taking on Toronto? Yesterday, 12-2, the Orioles played long ball and knocked around Toronto there, and the pitching with a big victory, put up the big 12 spot to kind of lead the way there a little bit offensively on a day with a lot of offense for sure. So let's get what you might do in this one today with these two teams, Baltimore and Toronto. I'll go to the chat and see what you guys have in this one. It does feel like the Toronto lineup can have some advantages, though, against Morton, especially the top of the lineup with Bichette, with Vladdy, also Alejandro Kirk. You know, Alejandro Kirk, his legs aren't very long, but he sure moves them pretty fast for a catcher. It seems like Springer could have a pretty good matchup as well against Morton. Like I said, despite some statistical success, Morton's, getting to be up there a little bit in age, certainly. So what are you guys going to do here, Baltimore and Toronto today, after Baltimore smacked them around? Go to the chat to see what you guys have in this one today. Kiadra says Baltimore again, but Thomas likes the Blue Jays here to get one. Blue has some team to go over, doesn't know which one, he says. And I think Jermaine says Baltimore again here. Blue on the O's, Philly Eagle Flyer on the Orioles here. A lot of Orioles support here, maybe. Abel's on the over. Blue says he will take the O's. Luis is on the O's. Luis also said take the Rockies in the last game. Abel's on the Orioles and over. This might be a consensus play, it feels like, here from the Orioles. Maybe you guys, that offense yesterday, putting you guys on it. Thomas says this is a consensus play. We already had apparently 3 other consensus plays here. Michigan State, Houston, and I might have missed one of them, but you guys are on the Orioles here. You know what? I'll just tag along with Team Steam consensus in this one since I went on the other side of that Purdue game. I don't know what the other one was, Thomas. Was it Auburn? Or was it Auburn, I think? I'm not sure. Okay. Dana Delp, Baltimore team total over. I'll just take Baltimore. You guys are clearly on Baltimore here. And now it's going to be Michigan State. Michigan was the other one. Okay, thank you. Taking all those points with Michigan. Okay, you're right. Nobody was really going with Auburn. There were 1 or 2 maybe. Okay, that's another one. Here, Robert says he doesn't like this matchup here for Gosman. For sure. Yeah, no. He doesn't like the matchup here for Gosman here in this one. I'm kind of neutral on the matchup here, I think. All right, the Pirates will take on the Marlins here, with the Marlins winning that walk-off game there yesterday from Kyle Stowers. Not the first time he's won a game before with this. I don't think with this, or maybe he's homered there early on in his career. He was with Miami last year for a time as well. So let's talk about this one with Keller going up against Gillespie here, and the Pirates favored on the road in this one. $1.40 or so. The total 8. The total's definitely going higher here. 8 over 15. We'll see. Are the totals moving higher because of what happened yesterday? Definitely saw the Grand Salami go over. So plenty of runs there yesterday with the Pirates and the Marlins. Just 5 and just 9 in the game, but it certainly was an over there yesterday. So let's see what you want to do here with Keller and Gillespie in this one. For me, I got to like the Miami Bats here in this situation against Mitch Keller. It feels like today, especially at the top of the lineup with Xavier Edwards. He's able to draw a couple of walks yesterday, scored a run. Kyle Stowers did a great job yesterday. Also, how about Matt Mervis? Yesterday, he struck out 3 times, but we'll see what he can do here in this lineup. It should be an okay matchup for him against Mervis. He didn't have he had the golden sombrero there, certainly, but he didn't have the platinum sombrero like Jackson Churio had yesterday with his 5 strikeouts for the Brewers in the leadoff spot. But see what you got here in this one with Pittsburgh and Miami here tonight. The widely reported steam did come in on the over. That's what forced it up here. Like I said, 2 now, 8 or 8.5. 8 over 15 or so in this matchup with Miami and Pittsburgh here today. Let's go to the chat and see what you have in this one with Luis is on Pittsburgh here to get the second win of the series. Thomas is on Pittsburgh here. Blue is on the Pirates as well. Wow, quick Pirates run here. Here's Kiadra, Pirates first 5. And this one, Jermaine says, look, I'll take the Marlins if, Skeens was priced less yesterday in that matchup. Of course, he was going against Sandy Alcantara, a little bit different there. Johnny Walker says, take Gausman over in his K prop in this one. And let's see what else we've got here. Oh, Thomas says Pittsburgh's oh my gosh, you guys are on Pittsburgh here. Oh, okay. If you guys are going to take Pittsburgh here, I better navigate my way to the total. Give me the over here in this one. Look, I kind of like this as a premium here, actually, the total, but I was kind of leaning Miami. But if you guys like Pittsburgh, it's a consensus play. Let me move to the total here. I'll take the over in this one between Pittsburgh and Miami tonight. I think Blue said high score. Kiadra on a nerfy here. And Billy Eagle Flyer was striking out with Churio all day long. Here's Marlins for Robert, Marlins for R. Tomps. Billy Eagle Flyer leans to the Marlins. And Jermaine says he likes Marlins, but on the run line here, lay a little bit there with Miami. All right. Next up here right now, it's going to be Johnny Pittsburgh first half run line. All right. Next up, we're in game 2 of the series between the Red Sox and the Rangers. Here with the Red Sox on the road, $1.20. The total, 9 over 15 or so in this one. You got a couple of maybe surprise starters in Tanner Houck and Jack Leiter, more so Jack Leiter. He was the one that got his nod from the Texas Rangers, kind of a surprise nod a little bit. He did a good job in spring training and earned the starting bid here after yesterday's game. Boston won, or not after the game, he was told he would be a starter before the season here, but it just late in spring training that Leiter gets announced into the Rangers rotation here. That might be where the Rangers coming in a little bit thin to start the season, but this is who they are starting here in this one. Look, you got a pretty good matchup, it feels like, for the Red Sox again, right here in this one. It wasn't an easy game there yesterday, but the Red Sox were able to pull away for a 5-2 victory. But, man, this lineup feels like a pretty good situation. We'll see if Leiter can do it here, but gets to make the first start here after Eovaldi, of course, got the nod yesterday. Jacob deGrom, we're not going to see him until Sunday in the season finale, but with injuries to Bradford and John Gray, that's kind of landed Leiter and former Vanderbilt teammate Kamir Rocker in the starting rotation. So that's where the season starts for the Rangers a little bit in some a little bit of shorthanded, but
system play.
Leiter didn't fare too well when he came to the major leagues last year, but he did strike out 21 and 20 in the third innings in spring training this season. So Leiter earns this start. For Houck here, look, it could be a good situation for Houck today against some of these guys, especially with Corey Seager. Corey Seager did not look good in his at-bat yesterday, had a couple of strikeouts. So let's see what you want to do here in this one with the Rangers and Texas here today. Let's go to the chat, see what you have. It's going to be here. Jermaine here likes Red Sox in this one. I think Billy Eagle Flyer, that's supposed to be Sox, I'm pretty sure. Luiso is on Texas here. Billy Eagle Flyer says Red Sox in this one. There's Robert. He says, give me now they backed off of it in the consensus play there. Oh, man, now I just gave out my premium as a total here. Oh, boy. Well, that's okay. Hey, I'm here to have fun. Look, I want to be totally serious and give out what I think are the best plays. That's why I'm so honored and thankful for you guys to come here every day and watch me. No problem. I'll have thousands of, well, not thousands, but hundreds of premiums for sure in the baseball season. So, oh well, just gave one away there. No big deal. And let's see here, Sox first 5. Kiadra was on Texas here, it looks like, in this one. And Blue says Seager, didn't look good there, but Abel will come back and try Seager. I think if anybody in this Rangers lineup, with all due respect to Abel, I think when you got Seager here against Houck, this is probably the tough part of the lineup for them here. So that's it from you guys in the chat. It looks like in this one between Boston and Texas here today. So I can make my call, it looks like, in this one. Right now, let's see what we got. And let's see, Johnny says Boston there. He's on Boston first half run line, I think is what that I think that's what that is, but I don't know if that's Price is right. But anyways, all right. I'm going to try Boston here again today. Give me the Red Sox in this matchup. I definitely think that they have the bats here all lined up and ready to go. Mostly a fade of Leiter here. I don't expect Leiter can actually go very many innings here, and this will be a lot of work here for the Rangers bullpen today. I think it's a massive advantage at starting pitcher. They'll have to get in that Texas bullpen a little bit. Can they hold up? They did an okay job yesterday, but obviously gave up the lead there and lost the game. Okay. Next up is the New York Mets and the Houston Astros. And yesterday, good game for sure, with the Astros winning it there by the score of 3-1. In a well-pitched game, certainly yesterday. And will we get that same type of situation here? Look, everyone's making fun of Soto because he was at bat and the game ended yesterday. He had 2 walks. That's what he does. He had a hit. So no problem. Yes, struck out with the game on the line or whatever, and everybody's like, oh, this, whatever. Still did his job. You're in position. This is baseball. Let's, calm down just a little bit. But still, you want to come through on opening day. Wasn't able to do so there. So I'm pretty neutral on this whole game here with this one with Brown and McGill. But you have $1.40 here for Brown right now. Maybe, I'm going to update it. Got to call $1.30 or even lower. I'm even seeing some $1.20 out there right now. And the total is slightly juiced to the over, but I think this was a low-scoring game of the day yesterday between the Astros and the Mets here. Let's see what you guys are thinking about here in this one. Houston, again, remember, I talked about it yesterday. They've owned this series for sure, having won 11 of the last 12 meetings here in Houston when these two teams have met over the last couple of seasons. Here, 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams now have gone over, dating back to last year, of course. It was 4 in a row before yesterday. And let's go to the chat, see what you have here. In this matchup between Brown and McGill today. And Thomas will start it off. He likes the Astros in this one on the money line. Here's Blue, though, says take the Mets. Luis is on the Mets. Kiadra says, give me a Nerfy in this one. Robert's on the Astros here. Abel is on the Mets. This one's going back and forth for sure. And Jermaine says, I'm going to take a shot here with McGill in this one today. Brown's had really good success against this expected lineup here, allowing just a 208 average and a 600 OPS against this expected lineup. I'll make my call. You guys make yours here real quick if you're done in this one. And for me, I'm gonna try here with the over in this one between New York and Houston. We did see plenty of runs yesterday. Yes, we had good pitching yesterday in Houston, and yeah, maybe close, but I'm gonna try the over here today with the Mets and Houston. All right, next up is the Cubs taking on the Diamondbacks here with Jamison Tyone going up here against Kelly in this one. Oh, I didn't have Kelly in there or typed in Merrill Kelly there. Let me put him in there. There we go. We saw this one get a little loose there yesterday between the Cubs and the Diamondbacks in a 10-6 win for the Cubs. Both teams had some leads there, if I'm not mistaken, in the game last night. But the Cubs ended up pounding in the end and getting those runs. We talked about it, right? I said, I like both of these lineups this season. And yeah, I did go with the under in the game. Should have heeded your guys' advice. You guys said, Ramon, this game's in Arizona. This is going to be a high scoring game. And you guys were right. And I even said it, right? I'm like, oh, hey, I love the offenses I love these offenses this season. Cubs, I do like the Cubs offense this season, and I do like the Diamondbacks offense as well. I think we've got good offenses here, and maybe they are underrated a little bit. So let's see what you've got though here with these two. Tyone does have good career numbers against the expected starting lineup of the Diamondbacks. He's held them to an under 200 batting average at 190 in 79 at bats against the expected lineup here today. So pretty good numbers for Tyone here. But again, I do like both these lineups a little bit. Let's see what you have in this one between the Cubs and the Diamondbacks today. Here we go in the chat. Luis is on the Diamondbacks. Want to say hello and welcome to Samit here today. Nice to see you, Samit. Thanks for checking in. Here's Abel on the Diamondbacks in this one. Dana Delp is here today. Likes the Cubs. Not much coming from you guys in this one between the Cubs and the Diamondbacks with Tyone and Kelly here in this one. Can Arizona, bounce back here today? All right. Oh, here comes a couple more. Robert is on the Diamondbacks and Kelly in this one. Okay. And Tremaine is on the under here with these two. And I'm going to take the Cubs here to get another one today against the Diamondbacks. Give me the Cubs with Tyone on the road. All right, Jermaine said under. I think I covered that. Here we go. Thank you, Samit. Pleasure to have you in the chat. Okay, the next game up is going to be my Padres, first place. Well, I guess not. I guess the Dodgers are in first place. But Padres win 1-0. Dodgers 3-0, whatever they are. And Dylan Cease here gets the day 2 start. Apparently, if the Padres go, lose this series, they're going to look to trade Dylan Cease already. But let's not get too much ahead of ourselves. The Padres will be favored with Dylan Cease today, $1.25 total here. Maybe has snuck up to, no, 7 over 20 is fine. There might be some 7.5 unders out there in this one with my Padres taking on the Cubs here today with Reynaldo Lopez. Look, this Padres lineup is going to be pretty strong. I would take right now. I would take this Padres lineup over this Braves lineup. You call me crazy, but the way they look like they can hit to me with Tatis, with a healthy Luis Ariz, with Manny, with Jackson Merrill, 4 RBI yesterday. Yuri Gurriel's in this Padres lineup now. Now, we saw some Padres problems with the catching that has to be a big concern. Elias Diaz is probably not going to be able to stick with this team. It feels like the way he's an awful looking catcher here actually right now. The Padres bottom line, not great. But look, the Braves have a truly great lineup. I might be half kidding, but the Padres lineup looked good yesterday, but still got Profar. Like I said, Profar got a huge ovation, a big favorite of these Padres fans, and he's over there with the Braves right now. But the Padres they had struck out 3 times yesterday. Austin Riley did have that home run for the Braves yesterday, but Matty Olson, of course, in there, and Azuna as well, and Ozzie too. He had the other home run there for the Braves yesterday. So I know the Braves have a great lineup too, but I'm just saying right now I'm going to favor the Padres lineup a little bit. Now, Lopez does have success though against this Padres lineup. The expected lineup here, Reynaldo Lopez allows just a 225 batting average in 80 at bats against this team and just a 507 OPS. Yeah, I took the Braves yesterday thinking I was cool going against my Padres. Let's see what you got here in this one right now between Atlanta and San Diego today. Let's see what you got. Here, Luis is on the Padres today. And here's Robert, likes the under as well. Blues going first 5 under. Samit, thank you for joining the Sports Money Network. And Jermaine says he thinks this is turning into an offensive ballpark. Abel likes the Padres here. Jermaine says, I didn't put Merrill in my fantasy lineup. My bad. Samit likes the Cubs on the money line. Padres team total. Maybe you threw a suggestion there. And Samit leaning to the Padres here, possibly in this one today with Cease on the mound. Look, Dylan Cease is still going to be able to deal, right? It feels like here. Look, I think the Padres are not going to trade Dylan Cease. If the first half is a disaster, I guess anything's possible, especially when you're a small market team like this. But look, the Padres put it together in the second half there yesterday, and I don't think Dylan Cease is going anywhere unless it's some kind of trade deadline situation. They're going to roll with this guy, of course. Let's go to the chat, see what you have here in this one. Padres and the Braves. The Braves have kind of owned the Padres in the past, but now all of a sudden, Padres have won 4 out of the last 5 meetings at home against Atlanta, coming in to this one. So, okay, I think that's it from you guys a little bit in the chat today. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Padres. Let's do it. I'm talking up this lineup, so let me go with them here with Dylan Cease on the mound today. Give me the Padres today. I'm going to take them.
Steam play.
All right. Next up, we got the A's taking on the Mariners. And the Mariners are $1.45 or so in this one. Let's call it $1.35 here. A little bit of move on the A's here today. In fact, the widely reported steam came in, remember, on the A's, we just said a short time ago. And the total here has moved to, I think 7 over 15 is fine. Here right now in this one between the A's and the Mariners here today with Springs against Castillo. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a pitching mismatch, it feels like, here with Seattle and Luis Castillo here. He's had pretty good success against this A's team in the past, against this expected lineup, just a 203 batting average overall against the A's, coming in here for Castillo in this one, and going up against this A's, bottom 5 or 6 lineup, it feels like, coming in. But I think it could be an okay matchup for a couple of these guys, like Butler, like Blade, like Soderstrom. Oh, Soderstrom was the man who hit those 2 home runs yesterday. I forgot who it was, actually, but it was Soderstrom that had the 2 home runs for Oakland yesterday as they went out to that 2-1 lead, and there was that controversial play at the plate that took that run off the board. For Springs here, it's a little bit of a tough matchup for him against some of these Mariners bats, it feels like, for Jeffrey Springs. Let's see what you guys have here in this one between Oakland and Seattle here today. I think I know what I'm doing, but let's see what your call is going to be here. I'll go to the chat right now and see what you have. Oh, the Padres were a consensus play. Wow, you guys. Yeah, down with those Atlanta Braves. They're probably going to come in last this year. All right, Padres consensus. All right. Samit's on the Mariners run line here in this one. Maybe Blues going under. Thomas likes the A's team total under here. Abel says, give me the Mariners in that other game. And give me the Mariners here. First 5 and full game. Jermaine's on the Seattle run line here in this one. And Thomas is on the under here in this game. And I think I'm going to agree with you guys. Give me the under here with the A's and Seattle. Look, I did say last night. Now I will be on a few overs. I promise you that. Like I said, I took 2 here already in the games. But look, we saw yesterday the Aces, and 10 games went over the 14. I'm going to go under though here in this one. Philly Eagle Flyers on the Mariners. Okay, last game. We're going right back to it with the Dodgers here and the Tigers. Now, the Dodgers are minus 200. They did not cover the run line yesterday, obviously. The Dodgers are already 3-0, remember, this season, after winning the 2 games in Tokyo and the first game yesterday. And, well, look, you'd have to think, looking at this matchup against Flaherty here in this Dodgers lineup, they'll probably be able to smash at least guys like Teoscar, who hit that home run yesterday. Now, Kike Hernandez is actually, I believe, not going to be starting this game. The reports were that he was sick, and that I believe he is going to miss this game. He did not play yesterday as well. So, look, it's not a great matchup necessarily for guys like Ohtani and Freddie Freeman if you think of where Flaherty can be the most effective. But still, the rest of the Dodgers lineup, I mean, when you got a guy like Will Smith in there as well, it's just the splits kind of favor Flaherty here a little bit. He's kind of a reverse splits kind of guy. So let's see what you have in this one between the Tigers and the Dodgers. Kirk Gibson threw out the first pitch yesterday. Of course, he was a Tigers legend and a Dodgers legend. So he threw out the first pitch, and I said, well, maybe Gibson can pinch hit for the Dodgers there last night. Let's go to the chat. The steam came in on the Dodgers here in this one. They're up to 210 or 220 here, so they didn't cover the puck line yesterday. The puck line, the run line. We're gonna do that for a couple of weeks probably. Say puck line when we're supposed to say run line. All right, 8 of the last 12 meetings between these two teams over the last couple of seasons have gone under. Detroit's won just one of their last 5 games here at Chavez Ravine. And I'm going to go to the chat,
System playing.
see what you like here in this one. Don't want to pass up a chance to talk about Yoshinobu Yamamoto as well. You know, he pitched 5 innings in his debut over there in Tokyo in that 4-1 game, and really was fooling those Cubs with that split finger, of course, yesterday. So, yeah, the Dodgers got the pitching, the Dodgers got the hitting. It's just a matter of how you want to play this one with this $2 favorite, right? See what you guys are doing in this finale here tonight at 10:10 Eastern and 7:10 Pacific with the Dodgers and the Tigers here in this one. All right. And we're going to be here. Luis, I think, is on the under. Thomas says, give me the Dodgers team total over. Robert says, give me the under in the first 5. Abel, Dodgers money line. Ready to get a hit. Yamamoto over in his K-prop. Abel says, Dodgers get to this bullpen here. But that might be it from you guys here today in that matchup with Detroit and the Dodgers. I'm going to try Detroit on the puck on the run line. They got the run line yesterday. I'm going to try them today. Here, give me the Tigers on the run line. Modest price here right now with the Tigers plus 1.5 at a pick 'em. I'll try them. I'll try the Dodgers. Give me the Tigers here on the run line as my pick here on the Morning Steam Show. All right. I think that's going to, here's some meat. He likes the Dodgers first 5 over 2.5. All right, that's going to do it for Major League Baseball. We took care of that one here. And let's go to the NBA tonight and try to make this a brisk little show here and get ready for our action today. We're going to be no early game. That Dodger, like I said, that Rays game 4 Eastern and 1 Pacific time. And we've got NBA with the Cleveland Cavaliers here on the road taking on the Detroit Pistons. Wow, good game. Look at this. We have the line wrong. We know that. I think we just I think we were quoting a baseball game there. I think we just typed it in over something here. The line is currently Cleveland. Well, I think that's what it was. I think the money line is what I typed in. So it's actually Cleveland -5, though, right now. There's definitely been a move here on the Detroit Pistons today in this matchup. The widely reported steam definitely came in on the Pistons here. Opened as high as 8. We're down to 5 here right now, which is interesting because Cade Cunningham is out of this game. And so, I mean, you're missing one of the best players in the game, certainly, here right now. And the Cavaliers, pretty much just fine. Yeah, you got Tyson and Jerome. Sounds like a bad comedy duo, both questionable for Cleveland. But Cade Cunningham, I'm pretty sure, is out of this game for the Pistons with that calf injury. Now, maybe he is going to be in. You guys tell me. Is the line trying to tell me something? You guys told me last time we saw something like this the other day, but it feels like the indications are that Cunningham is going to be out of this game today. So still the move here on Detroit. Look, they've been playing great, so that's probably part of it. Certainly Detroit been on a hot streak, and Cleveland, look, they're back on a 3-game winning streak. Yeah, they did not cover here last night, but they're the ones on the back-to-back here, so maybe that's part of it as well here tonight, that Cleveland has to play this back-to-backer. So maybe that's part of the move here as well. We know Cleveland hasn't been bothered by a lot When it comes to covering the spread. Now, Detroit's pretty good too, 22-15 against the spread as an underdog, but still Cleveland 24-13 against the spread on the road, 40-27 against the spread as a favorite. Cleveland has won 10 straight meetings against the Detroit Pistons coming into this one. 10 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams have gone under, should be noted there. Cleveland's won 16 of their last 20, but Detroit's won 4 of their last 5 games overall. They're 8-3 last 11 games at home. So Detroit getting a lot of support here today, despite no Cunningham. Let's go to the chat, see what you got here in this one. All right. And we've got Blue likes the under here in this matchup. And here's Harris for a prop here for Jermaine. And Robert likes the under in this one with Cleveland and Detroit today. And like I said, with Cleveland, I mean, they've, pretty much been able to hang out here at the top of the standings. I don't think Boston, will catch Cleveland necessarily here. So, but I don't think it's a let-up situation at all either for Cleveland coming in. Any more comments from the chat? Not liking this one too much. There's Abel here liking the under as well. Cleveland's definitely an over team this season, but this series is obviously an under, and you're missing a top scorer like Cunningham. Cleveland's still 24-12 to the over this season, 43-24 to the over as a favorite. And, yep, definitely a line move for sure. And, yeah, let me update the total. You guys are right there. Moved the line, but I did move the total to 27 here. Definitely a move to the under here in this one. So, all right. Not much from you guys here. So, Vegas Hike Life is here today. Says the Cavs can cover this one easy today. Yeah, the Detroit's playing great, though, no doubt about it. But not having one of their top players, does that affect things? And this is a discount on the Cleveland Cavaliers. It does feel like to me. It's just like I said, they're on the back-to-back. They had those struggles on the road, but it felt like that was when they were on the West Coast a little bit, right? And now they're up against a team that they frankly dominate. So I got to take the Cleveland Cavaliers here in this one, and I'll go ahead and lay 5 points. I'll lay that discount. Get a little bit of steam here right now on the Columbus Blue Jackets today. They were $1.20 or so, but they're up to $1.25, maybe even $1.30. Steam coming in on Columbus at home against Vancouver. One of the best road teams in the league against one of the best home teams in the league. We'll cover the hockey in just a few moments. I'll take Cleveland in this one. Abel says Pistons first half with those points. Next is the Hornets and the Raptors. Man, this is going to keep happening here with the baseball season. Kind of shows how sketchy I am there a little bit. Okay. This one's down to 5.5, and the total, another one dropping here big time, down to 214.5. Call it 5.5 and 214.5 here with the Raptors at home laying the points against these Hornets here who are on a losing streak right now. They failed to cover also in the 3 games, losses to Orlando, Miami, and OKC. Toronto, meanwhile, just played 2 weak teams on the road, Brooklyn and Washington, and covered both games, even though they were 2-point underdogs in those games on the road. They got the money. Now they're home against a weak team here, and Toronto's been a good cover, 21-14 against the spread. At home, Charlotte's been a good underdog, no doubt, 34-27 against the spread of this season. of this. That's been a good point for the Hornets, despite how bad they have been, for sure. For Charlotte here, they've lost 5 of their last 6. They failed to cover in 8 of the last 12 games against Toronto coming in. 6 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Toronto's covered the spread in 7 of their last 9 games. Overall, yeah, they were a dog in some of those, but Charlotte's just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games coming into this one. So let's see if you like this match. We probably should have just skipped this, but we didn't have a lot of games today. And there's no doubt that Toronto still, is in this playoff hunt, but they're probably the last team to go here right now as they sit 5.5 back of Miami outside of the playoff bubble. So this one would have been cut on a day like yesterday, but I'm willing to look at them all here kind of today. Here we go with Blue. He likes the Raptors here on a parlay with the Dodgers. He also likes them in a parlay with the Rays. Robert likes the over. Abel likes the over here as well. Blue likes the Hornets team total there. And I'm going to take the Toronto Raptors here and lay the points against the Hornets. Next up is the Clippers. Those Clippers, the red-hot Clippers, they look good out there, man. I talked about them last night. I think the guys laughed at me. I said the Clippers are down to 60-1, 50-1 to win the NBA title, and I know they're not one of the better teams, and they're not up there with those other guys, but at that price, you might be able to work in some equity. It feels like with these Clippers, they're looking so good right now, really crisp. At this point, almost machine-like, said Pat Bev on his podcast. It's hard to disagree here, the way they're methodically beating up on some of these teams like they did on the Knicks that last game. Even that Thunder game where they lost, they were in it. So the Clippers are in a real good groove here right now coming into this one, taking on the Brooklyn Nets, who, are on a long losing streak. So that's a pretty big number here for the Clippers. Not quite used to them laying this type of spread. They are favored by 12. The Nets were a pretty good cover in some situations, just like this, when they were getting enough points is kind of where they've been at their strongest. But see the total here, 213.5, and man, it is a little bit low. It does feel like maybe we're getting a little too cute in some of these, some of the way these totals are graded out here. It feels like right now, I don't know if I can quite do it here, especially with the Clippers kind of clicking on offense for sure, putting up big points in a lot of these games. Yeah, they only scored 101 in the game against the Thunder, but that game was hard fought against the other opponents. They scored 126 against the Knicks, 128 against Memphis, 132 against Cleveland, and 123 against Charlotte. Clippers are rocking and rolling here a little bit, 24-17 against the spread as a favorite, but Brooklyn 35-26 against the spread as a dog. The Clippers, they don't necessarily feel like they are that team that has that full knockout potential there a little bit, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to end up on the over here in this one. Look, I love to take some of these Nets games under a lot, right? We rolled with them here, especially as an underdog. They're 27-35 to the under as an underdog. Brooklyn's gone under in 4 of their last 5, but this series has gone over in 9 of the last 13. Now that's pretty much a 6-7 year sample size. Clippers just 3-8 against the spread their last 11 games against the Nets. Same thing. That's taken a couple years, 5 or 6 years to accumulate those numbers. But Clippers, they've covered the spread in 6 of their last 7. This one just, feels a little bit high even for this Clippers team, because it does seem like the spreads that Brooklyn covers are the ones that are 12, 13 points. No matter how hot these Clippers are, they're still a veteran team that has to do some pacing they've been pacing themselves all year, if you know what I mean. That's what I said about Kawhi Leonard last night. Everyone wants to make fun of Kawhi Leonard. The man has no cartilage in his knees, so he has to pace himself all the way through the season just to get to the finish line. And who knows, he could miss, more time if the Clippers get locked into a certain position in the playoffs. They want to keep that number 6 slot. So I think we're seeing a little bit of pressure for him to continue playing, and his, impeccable score line right now. As I said, Kawhi is basically scoring the same amount of points, rebounds, and assists every single game. If you look at his score line right now for the last 6, 7, or 8 games, he's, what did I say? 27, 11, and 7, like clockwork, pretty much. So let's see here with the Clippers and the Nets tonight, see what you got. And try to find it here where you guys. Abel says the Clippers are a fraud. I don't know if Abel's seeing that we're not seeing it the same here. And Abel's, he's a Dodgers fan, so I don't think I'm agreeing with that right now. Okay, they're really terrific at home, especially at this point. All right. Vegas High Life said over there in that Raptors game. Thank you. Nice to see you, Vegas, today. And let's see here. Robert likes the over here in this one. And that might be it from you guys. I'm not liking this one too much. All right, I'm on the over here. Like I said, a lot of these Nets games still go over. The Clippers also can really clamp you down and make you go over. I just think right now the total just feels just a few points too low for me the way the Clippers are scoring here. So I think it can't get up and over like 215 or 216 or something. So I'm going to end up taking the over here in this one. And Abel, just with some I'm being a little bit hard on my man here a little bit, and he's only stating the obvious here. So clearly Lakers fan that doesn't like the Clippers at all. All right. I think that's going to do it for that game. Let's go to the Suns and the Timberwolves here in this one. The Suns have been doing a nice job here of late, but a little bit of a move here on Minnesota. They're up to a 7-point favorite, it looks like, coming into this one now. The total 224.5 here right now. And I want to mention one steam move here on NCAA Elite 8. We're seeing a move on the under in the game between Alabama and Duke. Believe it or not, it was about 174.5, but we're seeing the move here to the under. We know the story a little bit because of what we've seen with Alabama, right? But this total's moving a little bit lower right now on some steam between Alabama and Duke on Saturday. Right now, the total is down here to 173.5, 173 now in a few books. The spread opened, by the way, mostly 6.5, and went up to 7 for Duke in the game against Alabama. By the way, Florida 6.5 and 156 over Texas Tech. So just want to mention that right now. Some steam coming in on that other game. Okay, here we go. Let's talk this one out between the Suns and the Timberwolves. The Suns have been playing their best basketball this season, just when they need to. They're desperate here, just inside the playoff bubble. They've got the same record as Dallas, so those two teams are battling. Actually, Sacramento, Phoenix, and Dallas. It does feel like right now, barring someone Portland would have to kick it in gear. We know San Antonio has been fading. It looks like Sacramento, Phoenix, and Dallas, 2 of those 3 teams will probably make the playoffs. So that's what makes a key game here. Now, Minnesota is just a little bit ahead of these teams. Phoenix, so on the road here at Minnesota, in a series where Minnesota has totally dominated the Phoenix Suns. Totally dominated, won every game against them for the last year the last couple of years. This has been a dominant series for Minnesota. They've covered 6 out of the last 7 meetings between the two teams. 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these teams have gone over. Minnesota usually they win and cover almost every time. There was a meeting back in November, 120 to 117, that the Suns did get the money. Both teams crummy against the spread. Minnesota's been one of the worst spread teams at home and as a favorite this season, but Phoenix hasn't been good either against the spread. They have been of late since they've turned it up and have been a little bit, everybody kind of caught up to them and said, Phoenix isn't covering very many spreads, and then they started to get hot, and so they were covering here a little bit, but right now both teams have bad numbers for the season. Minnesota's won 9 of their last 12 coming in. Phoenix has won 4 of their last 5 coming in. The widely reported steam did come in on the under here. It was 227, but right now it's down to 224.5 here in this one. Let's see what you got between Phoenix and Minnesota here today. Both teams, this is a kind of a roll where they go over. Minnesota 22 and 15 to the over at home. Phoenix 22 and 14 to the over on the road. And this series also is a pretty big over, although the last meeting did go under because Phoenix could only manage 98 points in the loss at home back on March the 2nd. Let's go to the chat here. Phoenix has gone under in 6 of their last 9. Minnesota's gone over in 4 of their last 6. Here's a chat here. Abel's old like me. He goes back to the old sports arena. Now the Clippers have probably one of the best facilities in the entire league. Here's Robert on the Suns here. He's also going over. Abel likes the over in this one as well. A little bit of support from the over from you guys. The widely reported steam did come in on the under here in this one. So let's see here. I'll make my call. You guys got another moment here to chime in, see what you like here between these two. All right. I got to respect this steam, I think, here a little bit. Give me the under tonight with Phoenix and Minnesota. I'm going to take the under, even though you guys kind of like the over here. Our Tops likes the Suns here, plus these points, as they're playing well enough right now in this matchup. And I think everyone's pretty much good to go except for Bradley Beal, but we know he's out for a while here now, obviously, with that problem. Okay, that's it for that one, I guess, and let's move on. Here on the Morning Steam Show, we're almost cooking and done here. Got to go to the NHL in a little bit here with the Warriors and the Pelicans first, with the Warriors laying 14.5 here on the road. The total, this one's gone up to 226, so clear move here on the Warriors and the over for sure here in this one. And we did see widely reported steam did come in on the over here, making that total rise here to 226. Pelicans are in a bad way. It does feel like right now, but they are coming in off of a win, it should be noted, last game against Philadelphia, 112 to 99. Now, do have to consider that Stephen Curry here, look, we've seen him injured, but he is now questionable, so does feel like with this spread going up that he may be able to get back here tonight. Not ruled out or anything, but certainly problems here for New Orleans with Zion out. CJ McCollum here out as well, so maybe, just maybe, Golden State here will get their star player back in this one. They've lost 2 in a row, of course, to Miami and Atlanta here on this road trip, but and they're not covering numbers very well either. But man, if they're healthy, they should be able to blow these guys out here. It feels like right now New Orleans is kind of throwing in the towel a little bit for sure, but still a huge number, man. Can you really do it here in this one against the Pelicans? Can you, let's see what you got. I don't know here actually, but let's go to the chat. Maybe you can help me out here. This is a tricky one. Does feel like. All right. For the Warriors here, having won 14 of the last 18 games coming in, New Orleans has lost 9 of their last 12. Warriors have won 6 of the last 8 meetings between the two, but the Warriors are just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. New Orleans and Golden State have gone under in 14 of their last 19 meetings. New Orleans has gone under in 7 of their last 8 games at home, and 7 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams here in New Orleans have gone under, but the widely reported steam did come in on the over. You got New Orleans 33-22 to the over as an underdog here. So this one's a little bit tough, man. Let's see what you got here. All right, Robert's on the over here in this one. And Abel's on the over. Ooh, we got some over support here already. 3 in a row there on the over with the Warriors and Golden State. All right. Hey, you guys are going over? I'm going over. Give me the over here in this one with the Warriors and Golden State. Let's go over today. Yeah, it's moved higher. I'll go with it. Let's go over. Next up is the Knicks taking on the Bucks here tonight with a game at 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific. You got the Knicks favored by 1. The total here has dropped to 217.5 here in this one with the Knicks and the Bucks. So another total here dropping right now between these two teams coming in. For the Knicks here, they're just 6-13 against the spread in their last 19 games overall. The Knicks have won and covered 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams. Milwaukee's 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games overall, although they have lost a pair of games in a row here right now to Denver and Phoenix on the road. They still have covered 4 straight games, playing pretty well here coming in. 4 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Knicks blew them out last time in January, 140-106. Like I said, the Knicks have looked pretty good against these guys. Actually won and covered 4 straight overall. Between these two teams. So Milwaukee here with losses before that, but they did win on the road against Sacramento and the Lakers. This is the first game back for the Milwaukee Bucks after that long West Coast road swing here. So let's see what you got in this one between the Bucks and the Knicks tonight. Pretty good matchup here, Eastern Conference battle, and ready to go in the chat and see what you guys got here in this one. I feel pretty good about, I think I know where I'm headed, but let's see what you guys have here in this one. It's going to be, okay. Oh, Tom, you guys are saying over. Oh boy, I don't know. Yeah, consensus over there. Okay, no problem. I'll take it with you, I guess. Maybe I would have went with the side there, but yeah, that game was tough, that Warriors game. Okay, here we go. Thomas says Golden State over there. All right. Blues on the under here in this one right now. Okay. See what else we got here. Nah, not yet. I don't think so. Thomas. I don't think we got Brunson back just yet. Samit likes Giannis to go over here in this one. I'll take a look, though, for you. I would think that maybe the Knicks would be a little bit of a stronger favorite if we knew that, he was able to come back, because you really want to see that see him out there with Cat and all that. And we saw Brunson actually yesterday I think he was at the baseball game, if I'm not mistaken, there yesterday. Okay, let's see here. Robert talking his Bucks. Abel likes the over. Dana Delp likes the Bucks here as well. Giannis is questionable here in this game, so a little bit tricky here heading into this one. Campaign out, McBride out for the Knicks. Lucky Power's here today. Thank you, Lucky Power. Nice to see you. Smash it, like it, pass it around here. Sports Money here on YouTube. And I'll make the call here for me in this one. And I'm going to take the under here with the Bucks and the Knicks down at 217 right now, 217.5. Give me the under tonight, Knicks and Bucks. One more in the NBA. We've got the Jazz taking on the Nuggets here. The Nuggets are a huge favorite at 17.5 now. The total 240.5. Say sometimes the Nuggets might be the type of team that they're not always interested in covering big spreads, but seems like of late they don't mind or knocking a team around here a little bit. But still, this is always going to be a little bit tough for a team like the Nuggets here that, with a little bit of veteran presence, that maybe they're not an overwhelming team when it comes to laying big numbers here.
Steam play.
Got some steam here in the NHL right now coming in. We already talked about the steam that came in on Columbus, but right now the steam's also coming in on the under in the game between Vancouver and Columbus. It's going to be a for sure 5.5 here between these two, total 5.5. Flat here possibly at a lot of spots. It was 6 heavily juiced to the under, but we're seeing it go under here right now. Jackets and the Canucks. All right, let's get your opinions here in this one between the Jazz and the Nuggets here today with Utah. They've failed to cover in 5 straight games, actually, against the Denver Nuggets. 8 of the last 12 meetings between the two teams have gone under. The Denver Nuggets, they're just 0-9 against the spread in their last 9 games at home. So what kind of motivation do you think they really, truly could have here against this bad Utah team and their makeshift lineup here every night? But we'll see. Markkanen is questionable here, so he might make this lineup, but Clarkson is definitely out here in this one. Jokic is on the injured list, but he is probable to play. Murray is questionable. Porter probable. Gordon probable. Brown probable here. So Denver has a strong lineup, and could they just rout this team for fun today? Utah's lost 4 in a row, of course, and aren't covering many numbers here at this point. Let's see, but like I said, neither is Denver. Utah just 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 games overall. All right. Abel likes the under here. Robert likes the under here. Kelly says, Memo first half Denver. Blue likes the under here at 240. I think it's lower than that, though, isn't it? I think I've got 240 on there, but it is still 240 here. It's actually gone up, right? 240.5 here in this one on some widely reported steam today. So, well, we'll see. Saw Indiana score 162 points yesterday. That was incredible. So, all right. let's see what you have here. I guess I got to make my call, and this one's tough because, like I said, Denver 0-9 against the spread in their last 9 games at home, but this Utah team is atrocious right now for sure. Especially they have trouble at home coming now. They did get that money, and we took them at home against the Houston Rockets. They lost by 11. They covered 13.5, but on the road here, could they really get it done? Man, it's gonna fall right on. It's gonna probably fall right to this number. It feels like, doesn't it? All right. Well, I got to make a call one. That 0-9 sure does stand out, but I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets to get a 20-point victory here today. They probably know they're not covering. All right, give me Denver. That doesn't feel good at all, but they should be able to do it with their eyes closed, you guys told me. That's it for the basketball. Let's quickly go to the ice here tonight and talk a little hockey, and then we'll get on out of here. Oh boy, Utah here is on the road. They just got blown out in the most lopsided game of the season last night, losing 8-0 on the road, and now they got to take on. They lost 8-0 on the road to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and now they got to play the Florida Panthers. And could the same thing happen here? It's 260. Coming in, oh man, it's not 260 at all. This is a discount on the Florida Panthers. They're down to we'll call it 250. I guess it's still not a huge discount. I think some of the sharp books are down to 225 or so. So maybe you could consider that a little bit here in this one with the Utah Hockey Club on the road here against Florida in this one, but it was 8-0 last night. Utah definitely a big time clunker here. They've been outscored actually 13-1 in their last 2 games. Remember, they got blown out by the Detroit Red Wings also here. So let's see what you have. Florida's beaten Utah in 7 of the last 8 meetings. This series has gone under 6 straight years with this franchise visiting Florida coming in. Florida's won 6 straight games at home, 14 of their last 20 games at home. Florida's gone under in 8 of their last 11 games overall, but like I said, 6 straight meetings between the two have gone over. 6 straight years here in Florida. So let's see what you got with this one. Utah taking on Florida today. I hope it's not 8-0 or even close to that. We don't want that. All right. I'm going to the chat to see what you guys have in this matchup. Yeah, it's going to be Lego World says, you know what? You get embarrassed like that, you've got to think that maybe they could hang in there. Maybe they could fight back a little bit or so. Lego had a nice day in the NHL yesterday. I didn't do too bad myself. We went 7-3 here on the show. Robert likes the under here in this one. Abel says Panthers and over. I think Kelly says first period over. Florida -1.5. Yeah, me too, Kelly. Give me Florida here on the puck line. I'm gonna go right back to them. I think. Look, I don't think it's gonna be 8-0, but it might be 4-2, might be 5-3 or something here. I don't know. What are you talking? They can't score 3 goals, so give me Florida here on the puck line. Irish King's gonna do it. Panthers and over for Philly. Go Flyer. Abel says Panthers and over. That'll get the price down a little bit. Can the Panthers blow them out here second straight night? That Utah will be in trouble here. All right, working quickly a little bit here through these. We got the Canadians taking on the Hurricanes here in this one. Hurricanes, oh boy, 325. Don't they know these are the Montreal Canadiens here who've been playing so good? Now, granted, the Canadians have come back down to earth here a little bit. 4 straight losses right now. So maybe there was a little bit to that. They lost to Philly last night after Philly fired their coach, so they're on the back-to-back. That's got to be a bit of a factor here in this one, although they got Montembeault likely in this one, whereas last night they ended up going to Dubas in goals. So let's see here. Still feels a little bit stiff on the price despite this slump here all of a sudden again for Montreal. It does feel like they're pretty streaky here at this point, going back and forth. But Carolina's won 9 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams. Montreal's lost 6 of their last 7 on the road. Carolina's won 9 of their last 11 games coming in, including 5 of their last 6 games at home. Montreal has gone over in 5 straight. Carolina's gone under in 8 of their last 12, but 4 out of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone under between Montreal and Carolina. So let's go to the chat and see what you guys have in this matchup. Montembeault and Kashetkov here expected. I don't have it there listed, but I believe I didn't put Kashetkov in there. Let me make sure of this. Yeah, I think we're expecting Kashetkov. Let me at least update my graphic here for a little uniformity. There we go. Carolina coming in off of a loss. So they lost at home to Nashville 3-1. So that's got to be a concern a little bit. I mean, I know that Montreal's been okay. They've been a little bit better than Nashville here, but see what you might do in this one between Montreal and Carolina. Oops. All right. And it's got, let's go. Here we go with Lego World. Says, oh, Montreal's not doing well. Kelly says this Carolina team, came from that West Coast trip, then came home and lost one. Maybe they'll be more ready here today in this one. Irish King says Carolina. First period. Here's a little prop action. Philly Eagle Flyer going over. Robert is going over here in this one as well. And Vegas Hike Life likes Golden State Warriors in that basketball game to go over. Abel says Canes and Panthers in a money line parlay. Canes here for Robert here in this one. I'm going to take the Montreal Canadiens on the puck line, of course. I've got to think this is just a little bit too high for me. I'm gonna go against my man a little bit here. Doesn't happen too often, but yeah, they're on the back-to-back. 325. I'm not going to be able to quite do that here. I'll try the Canadians to stay in this game today and take them at plus 1.5, but probably minus $1.05 or $1.10. I'll take the Habs on the puck line. Okay, yeah, Kelly, we're hitting the stretch here at the end of the season in the NHL, and we need it because we don't want to have to do a million games every day with baseball. All right, next up, the Canucks are taking on the Blue Jackets here. You got one of the best road teams in the NHL against one of the best home teams in the NHL, at least money-wise, when it comes to Vancouver and Columbus here. Columbus has just ended their long little losing streak they had when they beat the Islanders on the road. Now they're back home here after 2 games on the road. Vancouver here playing pretty well of late. They beat the Devils on the road, the Islanders on the road. Now they're taking on the Blue Jackets in their favored role. It feels like here, but like I said, Columbus, a great home team, but that's usually when they're getting a bigger price than this. Here they're actually favored, and I don't know if that's the right role necessarily for the Columbus Blue Jackets, right? I don't think this is the right role for them here. Now, the widely reported steam did come in on Columbus. Says they're $1.20, but they're $1.30, and the total here has dropped significantly to 5.5 here in this one between Columbus and the Canucks today. So see what you have here in this one with these two. For Columbus here, they have lost 6 of their last 7 games overall. Vancouver's won 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams. Vancouver's gone over in 7 straight games on the road, but Columbus has gone under in 4 of their last 5 at home. Still, Columbus is 20-13 to the over at home this season. 4 of the 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over, but still that steam has come in here on the under in this one. Still feels like it's gone a little bit low here, somewhat. So give me the over here in this one between Vancouver and Columbus. I'm going to try the over here today. Despite this respected move, I've got to respect the move a little bit on that steam, but I think if it is a close game, I don't know if I see 3-2 here necessarily with these two. Let's go to the chat, see what you have here. It's going to be Canucks here for Irish King. Lego says, yeah, Vancouver's been going over for sure a little bit. You look at the scores for Vancouver, they're definitely averaging a little over 4 goals a game over the last 6 or 7 games for sure. Kelly says Vancouver here and a prop. Robert's on the under here. Philly Eagle Flyer chiming in. He's got an over here. First, I think the trifecta, does that mean first 10? They were asking me the other day, Philly Eagle Flyers, that means first 10, first period, and full game? Is also sprinkle the draw. Robert on Columbus here. Kelly says, how about 2 goals each? And regulation would be 2-2, huh? And a little prop there as well. That would be 3-2 probably. So, well, that's okay. I'm going to take the over in this one. I'm going to fade that steam. Everyone out there, I hear Ramon, he just plays the steam. He's got that thing in the background. No. Sometimes that gives me the sign to go the other way. The steam is just what the sharps are doing. It doesn't mean I'm on the play when it's a steam. Sure. Am I a steam chaser a little bit? Yeah, you could put me in more in that category, more so than not. But if I'm looking to go the other way, that gives me the buy sign to go the other way. So, all right, give me the over with Vancouver and Columbus tonight. Next up is the Jets and the Devils, and a good matchup here with the Jets at home. Considerable favorite, $1.80, 5.5 under 20, maybe even $1.25 right now. Both teams coming in here off of a win for Winnipeg. They beat Washington 3-2, and then impressive win at home. Man, Winnipeg's playing a lot of close games here. They're not actually, I don't think they're playing as well as what we've seen, despite some nice wins over Washington, Edmonton, and Seattle. They lost to Buffalo, remember? They lost to that Vancouver team. New Jersey hasn't looked too great either of late, but they did beat Chicago here last time out. So let's see what you got here. Pretty big price here at $1.80 today with this one with Winnipeg at home, Hellebuck. I'm going to say it's not going to be Markstrom here, though. I think it's going to end up being Allen actually in this matchup today. So I'm going to update that. Let me see. I'm going to run through the goalie computer here real quick and see if we have any confirmations. Actually, I've been checking. Elvis is in the building for Columbus today in their matchup. Freddie Anderson's likely for the Hurricanes. Bob is in goal for Florida today, that's for sure. And I think that's where we stand with the matchups today. Hellebuck, and I'm going with Allen here actually in goal. There is some talk that it could be Markstrom still, but I'm thinking it could be Allen here today. So let's see what you got in this matchup between the Jets and the Devils here. All right. Here is Kelly says the series here. Don't forget your trends, Ramon. Tell us what's going on in these matchups here. And for these two, yeah, it's definitely been a series that we've seen with some overs here, Kelly says. I do know that New Jersey's lost 6 of the last 7 times here at Winnipeg coming in. These two teams met back on March the 7th. It was 6-1. Winnipeg won it big time on the road at New Jersey. So New Jersey's had a tough time with these guys for sure. Winnipeg's gone under in 5 of their last 6 games and 10 of their last, or 5 of their last 6 at home and 10 of their last 15 games overall. New Jersey's lost 12 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams. See what you got here in this one. I know what I'm doing in here, I believe, with these two. But let me see what this puck line is actually. I kind of want to take. Oh boy, this one's tough, man. Maybe I can end up here on the total. Let me go to what do you guys have? Here's Winnipeg in regulation, says Irish King. And Lego World today, nice to have you. Like the Jets team total over. Okay, gotcha. Kelly says Jets and the under. No pressure here for Winnipeg, really, their situation right now. If you look at the current standing, I think this is what she's referring to. I mean, there's no doubt New Jersey is also in the playoffs here. They might kind of be entrenched, it feels like, in third place, but Winnipeg clearly ahead of the West at this point, far, far ahead. So maybe the pressure not on them necessarily in the blowout category. Here's Abel says, take those Devils. How about Jets with an exact score 4-2? Kelly says, New Jersey will turn the tide on them today. But Lego World says, you can't trust these Jets. Robert says, lay it with the Jets. Kelly got talked out of it, but I kind of want to take the Jets here on the puck line. It's just $1.70 on the puck line. That doesn't feel too great. I'm still going to take them. I either got to go one way or the other because that's what I do on the show. So I'm taking the Jets here on the puck line today. All right. And next up, the Golden Knights taking on the Blackhawks here. Golden Knights, looks like the scoreboard's broken here. Ramon, you got the wrong line up there. The Golden Knights are not minus $1.30. They are minus $3 in this game. Even $3.20 here at a few spots, $3.25, $3.30. So let's get into it here with the Golden Knights, a huge favorite tonight at Chicago. And Chicago, not looking too good for sure coming in. They'll have Spencer Knight, though, in goal here today in this matchup. So that one, I believe, has been actually confirmed. Vegas has won 13 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams. Chicago's lost 8 of 9 coming in. Vegas on a little bit of a roll again with a 4-game winning streak, and they've covered the puck line in each and every game. They've outscored their opponents 20-7 in the last 4 games, and no, they're not exactly playing slouches. Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Detroit, and Boston. Those teams are a little bit struggling, of course, those early two, but Vegas here, 6-2-2 in their last 10 games overall, 38-21 as a favorite. Chicago just 20-48 as a dog, but Chicago 36-32 as a puck line dog, 20-15 on the puck line at home. And PGK, though, 33-26 as a puck line favorite coming into this one. 4 last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over, and Chicago's gone over in 9 of their last 10 games at home coming into this one. Let's see what you have tonight. Vegas is taking on the Golden Knights. What do you have here? I know what I'm doing. I'm going with the over in this one between Vegas and the Blackhawks tonight. Yeah, slow Vegas, right? And if anything, maybe the Chicago scores on the back end. Let's see what we got. Nothing really from you guys, although we got Abel with his West Coast parlay, and he's got Vegas in there. Thank you, Abel. He's got the Dodgers with Vegas tonight for his West Coast parlay. I like the West Up parlay there. Good feature by Abel. Got his own. Like I said, I always wanted to make some fancy nicknames for some of my plays, and I've never been able to figure anything out. Kelly says, hey, don't forget, Chicago's already won one of the meetings this season here at home, 5-3. All right, give me the over in this one. Finally, the Rangers are at the Ducks here tonight with the Rangers favored on the road against these awesome Ducks here. I mean, come on, the Ducks at home, they can hang in there in this one, can't they, tonight? Shesterkin and Gibson is what I'm listing here for this matchup. We are seeing some steam right now in Major League Baseball with my Padres. Seeing some steam to the over right now between the Braves and the Padres. This one we talked about is 7/20. We could be seeing this one go to a little bit higher on this juice. It feels like on the 7. A little bit of steam coming in. Braves and Padres right now here on the Morning Steam Show. We're just about done here with our last game. Probably just give it out and get on with our day. It's going to be a fun day. Thank you for joining me here on the Morning Steam Show as we get ready for the action here tonight with the Rangers and the Ducks. I know what I'm doing to get me. I'm already doing it. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to wrap up the show, you guys, with the Rangers and the Anaheim Ducks. Give me the under in this one tonight with the Rangers and the Ducks. Let me see what you guys have. I didn't even give any stats or anything. I just give me the under. I want to end the show. Anaheim has gone over in 4 of their last 5 and 6 of their last 8 at home, but the Rangers under in 4 of their last 5 on the road and under in 6 of their last 8 games overall. Now, when these two teams met in the first game, it was just 2-1. Rangers won on the at home back in October. So let me know what you have, and let's just wrap up the show. Thank you for a great show, everybody. Had a great time today. And, man, you just hope that everything's cool with all those folks. You know, if you look at we know these numbers on this big earthquake are pretty bad right now, but really, if you think of the devastation, it should be a lot worse, unfortunately. Let's go to the chat in this game and see what you got. Abel says, give me the Ducks. Add them in the puck line in that West Coast parlay. Hey, Panarin here for a goal for Kelly. She's always got us up to date with all of our milestone goals. I think she's taking the Rangers maybe a little bit. Here's Rangers and over for Philly Eagle Flyer. That's going to do it for the Morning Steam. I'm on the under that one. Thank you, everybody. Had a great time today. Let's do our drawing and get on out of here. But first, you can get my best plays for today over at winnable.com. I'm going to have some nice packages here for the evening action, so check me out over at winnable.com. Please consider supporting me here on the show. This is a user-supported channel, and this is how I, get some pizza. Like I said, I've got almost 50 subscribers signed up at the average of the 56 cents a day or whatever it is. So you know what? I got enough to get a pizza or maybe 2 here with you guys supporting me. So just please consider it. I think it's having a good time with you guys. But no doubt we got some great subscribers. You can also get free package over there where I send out hopefully some winners. My overnight baseball didn't work out necessarily last night, but at least we gave out that Australian football winner. Man, we're hot with our Australian football picks. Maybe I'll have another one there. Hey, we got women's action here real quick. Let me get back on the air here and get our women's plays here for today. Man, we're not done yet. We'll do the drawing here in just a moment. In fact, I'll pull it up like this. We'll get the drawing ready, and then we'll give out the plays in the women's NCAA tournament. And don't forget, if you want to enter in the drawing, just type in supercalifragilisticexpialidocious in the chat, and you'll be eligible. Thomas says, here are our consensus plays. So I did that so that if Curtis Mann is out there, he'll have to type in supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And you know what? If he is out there, he'll probably do it because he's celebrating the Gators' victory there last night. Hopefully, the we did see last night, no doubt about it, the injury there to Alex Condon. So I think he'll be okay. It just felt like last night, why force anything there? They were able to get the win. Maryland gave us a small threat there a little bit, but just get Condon rested up for Saturday's game. I think he might be able to play in that game. They said, now I know there was a lot of room, but he was walking around, even considering you saw him walk in they showed him walking back. He walked out, he walked back in. So he was walking there, and maybe Condon can make even if they didn't have him. I mean, there is some concern because of his position, especially when you go up against, in that next game against, a kind of a tough matchup. It feels like against Texas Tech, but okay, here we go with the women's action here today in the NCAA tournament, and here we go. All right. The first game of the day is going to be North Carolina and Duke. In women's action, you've got Duke here favored by 6, and the total I'm sorry, let me get this right here. Okay, and the total here is 121.5, right? Okay, here we go. One Duke 6, 121.5, and I've got the Duke Blue Devils here as my play here on the Morning Steam Show. Take Duke -6 in that matchup over North Carolina. I'm going to lay it with the Blue Devils here as my pick here on the Morning Steam Show. Also today, how about the game between Maryland and South Carolina? Of course, I'm on South Carolina to win the national championship, but here in this one, I'm going to take the over with Maryland and South Carolina. Go over 152 in that matchup between Maryland and South Carolina today, and I think the others. So those are cover the early games there, and with the night games, please consider subscribing to my VIP picks. Also, join me over on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. I think I'll have one more women's play over there for sure for the card. So maybe we can do it that way. We got 2 plays right there for the early games in the women's NCAA tournament. Here comes the drawing. Let's go. Redbeard, Kiadra, Oldie, Oak Caps, Dimitri, Joseph, Lego World, Lucky Power. It's going to be my man, Paul Bowman. There he is, the Mets farmhand. And thank you there, Paul, for being the winner here. And you'll get the chance to win the Team Steam Parlay today. That's it for the Morning Steam Show. Don't forget to join Mikey Money here today at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. Mikey will get you ready for the primetime action here today on the Sports Money Network on pre-gaming. Also, don't forget to check out our UFC coverage with VB MMA Picks. I have our show with VB and his analyst this week. It was Uncle Weezy joining us on the channel here this week. Also, don't forget, First Strike, get your other previews with the boys as they preview the card for UFC Mexico City on Saturday night. And we also have our NRL previews. And now we've had to wait a little bit. The NRL previews are pretty fresh and ready to go. The biggest matchups are coming up for the weekend in NRL over there with Dan and Smythe. They get you ready for the NRL action. Let me kind of close up my theme there, so you don't see the behind the scenes a little bit here in my satellite studios in Las Vegas. Appreciate you, everybody, joining me here on the show. We'll catch you tomorrow. More morning steam. We'll get ready for Elite Eight action tomorrow for sure, and baseball action. Big card. We'll be here for another 2.5 or 3 hours tomorrow. So join me then here on the morning steam for the Sports Money Network. I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
It's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.